Hello and welcome back to the channel once again. I am Alan. This is...
Leanne, hi.
She's Leanne.
I am.
She's... Leanne! Very, very bouncy and hyper today.
I try.
You're too much sugar.
Not enough sugar.
Oh, God, help me. Send help. Please.
Send sugar.
No, don't send sugar. That's the wrong thing to do. That's the worst thing. Do not send sugar. So... as you've probably already gathered from the title card in this video, this is the predictions for Extreme Rules 2021. We're putting this out earlier because we have got a pretty stacked weekend, so we're not going to be able to film this video after SmackDown airs. So as it stands, these predictions are based pretty much on everything up to this point and Monday Night Raw from this past week.
Yes.
So what date are we today? We're the
23rd.
that 4, 5. So the Extreme Rules takes place on the 26th of September?
Yes.
Yeah, September. I'm losing track of what day, what month it is. It's crazy. So we're a few days out yet. We do still have SmackDown before then, but as I just said, we're not going to have time to film this on the weekend.
No.
So we figured we'd film it now just to keep the streak going, almost, I guess.
It's not like is there going to be any major surprises in SmackDown? Are there ever any major surprises on SmackDown? I guess they might like change the card last minute. And then we'll be predicting matches that aren't happening.
I mean, we'll cover that in a sec. So, before we get into the card itself, I'm just gonna... There's a distinctive lack of anything on this card. Let's be perfectly honest. There's a distinctive dip in the state of WWE right now, I'm finding. So, like, of all the matches they've got there, they've had a build-up between... just going for my notes. Shinsuke Nakamura and Apollo Crews. And that's just kind of apparently that's taking place on SmackDown, so that might change. The IC title might change hands on them, but I can't see that happening. I think they're trying to keep Nakamura sweet so he doesn't bugger off to AEW or New Japan when his contract expires. Where's the Raw Tag Team titles on this card? Originally, it was supposed to be Randy Orton versus the champion Bobby Lashley for the title. They decided to pull that forward by 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks, and have the match on Raw instead. And then Big E came out and he cashed in his Money in the Bank on Bobby Lashley and won the title. A lot of speculation is that that's a knee-jerk reaction to the reception to AEW's All Out event, which, let's be honest, that was much better than WrestleMania this year. So far, that event was better than any other wrestling show I've seen in the last couple of years.
Probably better than any wrestling show I've ever seen. I know I haven't been watching for as long, but... yeah,
it's really... That show really harkened back to the Attitude Era to me. For me, the growing up in that age with the Rocks, the Stone Cold, the Triple H, the Shawn Michaels, the Kurt Angles, and that kind of... the Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho was on the card. So that was a bit of a throwback to that, and it kind of gets you invested. Whereas a lot of the product for WWE right now, you're just kind of like, oh...
Same old.
Okay, like on Raw this week, and we watched it, recently, I think it was yesterday we finished it, and they had a tag team match, and you had Mansoor and Mustafa Ali come out and say, okay, who are they fighting now? Is it going to be the Retribution again for like the millionth friggin' time? But no, instead they have Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo come out.
Since when have they been a team? They hated each other?
Yeah, well, they're cousins in real life, so they have got bloodline. But then...
The last storyline we saw with them was they didn't like each other, they hated each other.
So this major babyface in Humberto Carrillo, which they've been pushing for ages, Dimples, he's like such a babyface. He's the genuine good guy. He can do no wrong. And all of a sudden he's with Angel Garza, who's a total sleazebag, because that's his character. And
it doesn't make sense. Why have they done it? They didn't really explain, apart from they had beef and now they're like, we're family, and that's their explanation, is that they're family. So
they kind of WWE's kind of done a bit of a roundabout thing where instead of having a lot of promos in between the matches like they have been done for the last couple of maybe decades or so, back in the sort of 80s and 90s, you'd have the entrances happening and then our camera's caught up with such and such today and this is what they said. And they did that kind of thing, which, I'm not really upset about. But I just feel a bit meh about the way this has just kind of gone, right, we've got this guy, we don't know what to do with him. We've got this guy, he's not really getting over, what do we do? Let's put them together and see what happens. And then that leads into the thing of Vince going back saying we don't want any cold matches on Raw and Raw and SmackDown. This was a friggin' cold match.
So cold. The whole thing, it was a cold team.
Yeah.
It was everything. It was freezing.
So that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they had a match. So it's been breaking down for the last few weeks, maybe the close to a month or so, with Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And they've sort of been kind of bumping heads a little bit, and a bit of tension between them. Yeah. And it kind of all hell broke down, and they've kind of started feuding with each other. Then they had a match on Raw. Now, if there's a feud like that, which has been a bit of a long burn, because they've been teasing this pretty much since the beginning of their tag team run, why not have it at Extreme Rules? Why not have it as like a tables match, or a ladder match, or a street fight, or a no-holds-barred match?
It's the perfect setup.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view is right there. Mm-hmm. Both of them could be great in an Extreme Rules match. Let's
just throw it away on Raw instead. Yeah. Like, I like the way it ended with Shayna Baszler literally choking out Nia Jax in Karafuda Clutch. Couldn't think of what finishing was called then. And then obviously attacking Nia Jax afterwards. And I think they're pushing this whole, oh my god, she's injured her arm angle.
Yes.
Much like Shayna Baszler.
Her screams.
Oh, yeah. But then like that harkens back again to when Shayna Baszler first came to WWE from NXT, when she was doing that to all the competitors. She was purposely injuring them. She was targeting that arm and doing that stomp thing, and that was the whole thing. The matches were ending on a no continuation, and Shayna Baszler winning by default. And that kind of harkens back to that. So if you're going to do something like that, don't throw it away on Raw. Put it on an event like Extreme Rules, you know? Yeah. So instead, we've got just one of the matches that we'll talk about in a second is Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Like, what? What the hell is going on?
There has been some build-up there.
Not a massive amount. Not really.
It's quite subtle, I think.
Very, very. So you'd have a little progression, and then 3 weeks later, a little progression. Then another 2 weeks goes by, there's a little progression. And then
Liv nearly broke Carmella's nose.
Yeah, and that just felt so forced, and it was ridiculously horrid.
It did. But it's not like WWE don't have good wrestlers.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of the storylines are good. It's sort of the execution and the timing of it.
Again, it's going back to, like, shout out to Craig, who we talk about a lot with this. He's one of our friends. We talk about WWE and AEW and all those sort of wrestling stuff quite a lot. WWE seem to be afraid to do a lot of long burns.
Yeah.
Which is why on Raw they decided to do the New Day versus the Bloodline, as in Usos and Roman Reigns, instead of holding it for Survivor Series, which was the original thought process. So instead of going, right, we'll build this up for like the next month and a half till Survivor Series, they just go, let's just do it on Raw. Screw it.
I feel like, because a lot of talk about AEW and things is their regular show has pay-per-view level matches. Do you think that's what they're trying to do in WWE, is get pay-per-view level matches by just moving pay-per-view matches to
the problem is, right, so, and again, we don't want to derail us going to a full-on AEW video, but Bryan Danielson made his debut at All Out.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega retained the title, and they seemed to sort of tease a bit of a feud. Then they said, right, on September 22nd, at Grand Slam, we're going to have Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, you know? And they built it for a couple of weeks. WWE literally went on, I think it was the Saturday or the Sunday night, hey, we're pulling Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley off of Extreme Rules and doing it tomorrow night on Raw instead. There's no build-up. You can have those pay-per-view level matches on Raw or SmackDown or any other show. That's fine.
But you need to have
You have to have build-up.
Yeah.
Like when Jungle Boy won the Casino Battle Royale at the pay-per-view before All Out, which I think was Revolution. I might be wrong on that one. But he won the Battle Royale, and he won the right to face Kenny Omega. They didn't just go, oh yeah, we're going to do it tomorrow night.
No.
They said this is going to happen in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it was, and they had that build-up.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
So I guess part of I was thinking about it, is like, why don't I get as engaged with WWE at the moment? And I think partly it is that anticipation, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So because there isn't the build-up, because everything is sort of short and sharp storylines, if you can call it that, you don't get that sort of, this is coming in a few weeks, let's see what interactions they have in the meantime. So I guess that's it. I think partly as well, there's sort of the difference between professional wrestlers who play a part and professional wrestlers who are passionate about their character.
Embodying the part.
I think a lot of the guys in WWE, probably because, or partly because they don't have the creative freedom, they can't get as passionate about their character because it's not theirs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they're just playing a role. And I think for some of them, not all of them, some of them are really good at it. Some of them don't. It sort of comes across as they're reading lines or just going through the motions.
Like, one of your favourites is Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
There's no qualms about that. But how engaged is he?
Terrible right now.
How engaged does he actually look in that?
I know.
In whatever he's doing? Like,
he is not in it.
He's not. Like,
at all.
he came out and Karrion Kross made his Raw debut maybe a month and a half ago, wherever it was, and he won him by cheating. That's not Jeff Hardy.
No.
Then he came out the next week, fought Karrion Kross again, and got decimated. And there was nothing. There was no interviews. There was no promos. There was nothing.
Jeff needs. He's like the whole point of his character is charismatic, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He doesn't get to talk.
Mm-mm.
I haven't seen him talk for ages. I don't think.
Nope.
Jeff, get out. Get out.
Yeah, he'd be much better off going with his brother.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyways, we don't want it to be all negative about WWE.
So, one last thing that I'll mention before we get into the match card itself. None of the matches. Okay, so let me just boil this down to the basic things. What's the name of the event?
Extreme Rules.
Which insinuates what?
They're going to be extreme. There's going to be no holds barred. There's going to be tables. Probably like chains and just like anything goes.
Carnage,
fights.
chaos,
yeah.
Right? Extreme Rules, if I remember correctly, came about after the acquisition of ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling. So they were the innovators of hardcore, the innovators of violence. People like Tommy Dreamer, who's in a bit of a hot bit at the moment. The Sandman, Rob Van Dam, all those guys, Sabu, just incredible. All those kind of guys. They were great. They were passionate about what they were doing. They were extreme. They were pushing it to that next level and that pushing it really to the boundaries, you know. And this Extreme Rules event came out of that. So we've got 6 matches announced as of today, right now, for this event. Do you know how many of them have any extreme stipulations? Take a guess.
I'm going to guess 1.
Wrong. Try again.
Is it 0?
It's 0. It's friggin' 0.
No
Extreme Rules, right? TLC. Table matches. Ladder matches. Steel cage. No holds barred. Street fight. Barbed wire. Anything. Just give someone smacking someone in the head with a chair for 10 minutes. That would be extreme. But no, nothing. Not one single match.
They must be waiting till SmackDown to change them.
Why?
I know, it's like...
That's the problem.
If you know it's an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, people expect it. So if you spring it at the last minute, it's not really a surprise, but...
So 4 of the matches are SmackDown matches, 2 of the matches are Raw matches. So that's very uneven already.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so the Universal title, that could go to some sort of, like, no-holds-barred match.
Yeah.
So we'll go to this in a minute.
Yeah,
so we'll work from the ground up. So first off, as we already mentioned, we got Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Oh my god, you broke my nose, blah, blah, blah. Right, well, we're going to have a match Extreme Rules. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, Liv Morgan was the one that said we'll have the match, not Carmella. But yet you would have thought Carmella would be so PO'd that she'd be like, right, I'm going to have you Extreme Rules. That felt really backwards to me.
Yeah, it did.
And I hate what they're doing with Zelina Vega. They're just, what the hell?
Yeah, poor Selena.
Get
out, so Selena.
She can't. She signed a new contract recently.
I know.
I don't know what the length of the contract was, but she signed under the assumption that she would be with her husband, Aleister Black, on SmackDown. She re-signed, and about a week after that, they fired Aleister Black.
Some shady stuff. Shady stuff going on in the background.
I think Vince just likes dicking with people. Or whoever the head of talent relations is. I think it's still John Laurinaitis.
No, they're just sticking with Carmella. Yeah. Yeah, it's an odd choice.
I haven't really got much else to say about this.
I know. I mean, Liv Morgan, I love the character. I think it feels a bit like similar to what we were saying about Jeff Hardy. I feel like she's not quite in the character as much as she used to be.
Yeah. She loved that Riot Squad stuff.
Yes, and now the Riot Squad is no more, and she's the only one left. And that's got to be hard.
I can't remember who Liv Morgan was helping on SmackDown. There was another woman in the ring.
Oh.
And I can't remember who it was, but there was 2 people in the ring, and then you had Carmella and Zelina Vega on the outside. Like, I'll be bugging if I could... Oh, excuse me, I remember that person was in the ring.
Clearly wasn't that memorable.
But yeah, like, no build-up, pretty much. Or if there has been, it's been a very lukewarm build-up.
Yeah.
Almost, dare I say it, a stone-cold build-up.
I mean, they had the whole they've been building up Liv Morgan's sort of angle for a while, that like she feels like she should be getting the opportunities, and rightly so. She's earned her way. And then Carmella's coming along and sort of just waltzing in and getting opportunities.
I'm the prettiest woman, blah, 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 blah. You ain't Alexa Bliss, love. Just saying.
It's sort of building up, but at such a low level that it hasn't really built any anticipation for the match. And then the only catalyst is that Carmella whacked her face on the turnbuckle pad and then screamed for a bit.
Yeah.
And was perfectly fine because she's just a baby.
Yeah, pretty much. Who you got winning this one?
I think that Carmella's gonna win. Not that I want her to, but I think that's the way that it'll go.
Honestly, I kind of feel the same.
Yeah. It just feels like that's the way it's leaning.
It is.
And whether that'll help build Liv up again more, but it'll probably just
she'll just feel it. I mean,
rematch.
since before this match, I think the last time we saw her was probably pre-SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The problem is that my focus wanders a little bit when watching WWE product at the moment because it's just not.
It's not engaging.
Yeah, it's not gripping me.
Okay.
Next up, then, is another SmackDown match. It's the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. So the Usos, part of the Bloodline, defending against the Street Profits. Again, this has kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah, why is this happening?
Because the Usos were feuding so much with the Mysterios, and then all of a sudden the Street Profits are there, and it's like...
Hi? Welcome? What? Why is this a pay-per-view match?
I don't know. Like, I can see it being a pay-per-view match, yes. But again, have that build-up.
They didn't want cold matches, and now they've got a pay-per-view full of cold matches.
It almost feels like it, yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, Usos, fantastic team.
Yes.
They're 7-time champions, I think. Street Profits, I don't particularly like the gimmick, but they are damn good workers.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give them that.
I do quite like them. They have some fun bits.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the gimmick. They have some fun moments and some fun bits, but they just feel a bit like Private Party light. Whereas Private Party kind of take it to that next level. Street Profits are kind of like down here somewhere, and Private Party are up here.
But at least they look like they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah, can't deny that. Yeah, was it the solo cup thing with the red cups?
Just flying through the air, and also the fake ones that are superimposed over them.
I am glad that they've stopped doing "We Want the Smoke" thing so much, because that was getting a bit on.
They do it sometimes.
Sometimes
they've dialed it.
They've toned it back, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, because it's another cold match, who you got?
Usos.
Usos.
No question.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Because there's no build-up. They're not good. If they drop the title on a match that has no build-up, then they're even more crazy than...
Oh, wait. We'll cover that in a minute. Because that's going to come up soon. We'll deal with that in a minute. Keep that in mind, viewers. Keep that in mind. Dropping the title on no build-up. Keep that in mind. Okay? You know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, next up then, we've got the triple threat match, which was going to be a singles match for the United States Championship with Sheamus. I was going to say defending. He's not defending. He's challenging Damien Priest, the United States Champion, for the title. As of Raw this week, Sheamus got put into a match with Jeff Hardy and was told that if Jeff Hardy can win the match, he gets put into this match. If Sheamus loses, Jeff Hardy remains out of the match. Jeff Hardy won the match, which, you know, I'm kind of glad about, because they didn't go down the I would say, obvious route. Like, either one of these could be seen quite clearly, but I think that they did a good thing with this, because I don't want to really see Sheamus and Priest again. For the third or fourth time now?
I'm just glad Jeff got to win a match.
Yeah, and that. But, like, again, let's go back to the thing of, we're going to have, like, Sheamus versus Damien Priest for the title. Okay, Priest wins. Then Sheamus is there fighting him again. Then he's fighting him again and again and again and again. And it's like, how many times can you run one match before it gets stale?
Yeah. But at least here they've thrown someone else in.
Yeah, and that's a major problem with WWE, and I absolutely friggin' hate this luck.
Too many rematches.
Because, again, you go, go back to AEW.
Can't help it.
How many times has Kenny Omega defended that belt against someone he's fought before for it?
Don't ask me for numbers. I have a terrible memory.
Never. How many times has Miro fought someone he's fought before for that belt?
Probably never.
Never.
Because I guess you have the lead-up matches where you prove that you're worthy to challenge for it. Then you challenge for it. And if you fail, you're done.
Mm-hmm. Again, so when Miro won that title from Darby Allin, Darby Allin never got a rematch.
No.
Tough, mate. Tough. Drag on. Do something else.
Oh, WWE are getting rid of their rematch clause.
The only time that I can remember of a rematch, actually, is thinking about it now, Jon Moxley lost the title, sorry Vince, to Kenny Omega in December last year in 2020. Yeah. The first time that they got back into the ring was at Revolution under that exploding barbed wire death match. That was nearly 2 months later.
And it was massively escalated.
It
wasn't the same match.
Absolutely was, yeah. And whether or not the end might have failed because of the pyro guys, that doesn't take away from the match. Because that match was barbaric, it was brutal, it was brilliant.
It's just we all got a bit of a laugh at the end.
Yeah. But then it goes back to the point. So why do AEW... they're coming up in the numbers. They're doing like the over 1 million a week now on Dynamite, like 1.4 on the one after All Out, which that's very close to Raw's 1.6.
It's creeping.
It's coming up. It's coming up there. They actually had over 200,000 buys for All Out, which is the biggest non-WWE event pay-per-view since 1999 for a wrestling company.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's bonkers. And yet all the WWE marks are going, AEW can't compete. Try again. But
that's the problem when you're that in love with a company.
Yeah.
They're not in love with the wrestling, they're in love with the company.
And that's the thing, a lot of people are WWE marks, and I'm not. I watched WWE, WWF since I was 12, I think, something like that. And I've been watching it all these years. It's a long time. But I watch WCW, I've watched some NWA stuff, AWA, I watch Impact Wrestling now and again, I watch Ring of Honor, I'm a bit behind on them, Lucha Underground. I'm a fan of the industry, not the company. Yeah. So to see AEW coming up and kicking down these doors, as hard as they are, I'm loving it.
Yeah,
and this does harken back, and Vince won't see it this way because he's a bit narrow-sighted, I think. The best WWF was when they had the Monday Night Wars against WCW. When you had those two competing shows, that was when it was at the height. That's where the Attitude Era come from. Yeah. They had to step up their game to beat WCW, who were ahead in the ratings.
Yeah. The only difference now is that they don't seem to know how to compete. They're trying things, but...
The old man wants what the old man wants. Yeah. And what the old man wants, the old man gets. That's the problem. Yeah. The problem is, and I've got all the respect for Vince McMahon for what he's done for the industry for the last few decades, but he's not in touch with what's popular today. No. And I think that's where Tony Khan, he's younger. I think he's not far off my age. He might be a bit older than me, but he's not far from that. He's younger. He's got all these talents, these wrestlers coming in who are a lot younger. Like Sammy Guevara's 20 odd.
And he's listening to them.
He's listening to
them.
Isn't it? Yeah. Exactly. Like CM Punk comes in. CM Punk is a big name. Anyone who's ever watched wrestling knows CM Punk. And he's in AEW for a reason. Yeah. You know?
It says a lot.
But going back to my original point is that AEW don't do this constant, all right, well, I lost the belt to this guy, I'm going to have a rematch. And another one. And another one. Yeah. Oh, let's do another one as well. But yet WWE seem to want to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Edge beat Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Then they had Edge versus Seth Rollins on SmackDown in Madison Square Garden 2 weeks ago. And now Seth Rollins come out last week on SmackDown going, this isn't over. I want another match. And it's like, what? Just...
Doesn't make sense.
And then you've,
yeah.
It just frustrates the living hell out of me, you know, and it just bugs me.
Anyway, where were we?
So going back to the point was that Sheamus versus Priest again. So they've injected Jeff Hardy into that match, which is great. Yeah. And I think that's great. It gives it a bit more scope with this one, because Sheamus could beat Jeff Hardy to win the belt back, and Priest was like, well, I never, but then the problem is we'll get another Priest versus Sheamus.
But at least it's decent grounds for a rematch.
But then on the back of that, what if, I did have a point, I can't remember what it was.
No.
What if Priest beats Sheamus, Jeff Hardy's like, well, I wasn't involved in the call. Yeah. Much like that triple threat dynamic that we talked about with Charlotte before. Yeah. Jeff Hardy will then kick up a fuss being like, well, I deserve to be a contender. Yeah. I was put in that match because I beat Sheamus. Why can't I get in a one-on-one match? And then you'd lead into Damien Priest versus Jeff Hardy.
That could be good.
And that would be great. But turn Jeff Hardy heel.
Yeah. Ooh.
Bring out his Willow persona. Oh! Oh, I haven't seen that since Impact Wrestling. That'd be great, TNA.
Yeah.
So, Sheamus versus Damien Priest, who I think Damien Priest is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I've followed him since his Punishment Martinez days in Ring of Honor. I think he's fantastic, followed him from NXT, absolutely amazing talent. Just the fact that he's a metalhead has nothing to do with it, honestly. And obviously Jeff Hardy, he's a living legend. He's a former champion. He's definitely a Hall of Fame worthy.
For sure.
I mean, to be fair, Sheamus is Hall of Fame worthy. He's a former world champ as well, you know. But I think, for me, this is probably the match that I'm most looking forward to on this event.
I can see that.
The triple threat. I love the triple threat dynamic because you could have two guys in the ring slugging out because they've chucked someone out, and then, he's hit his finisher, he's pinning him, and then in comes the third man to break it up, and then that dynamic changes. And then the other guy can go out, and A and B can go, and then Seal come back in, and A and Seal, and it gives a lot of extra cool dynamics, especially with someone like Jeff Hardy. So you've got the slugger in Sheamus, you've got a bit of an all-rounder with Damien Priest, and you've got the high flyer with Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a dynamic.
It is a good dynamic. This match has potential, for sure.
So who you got?
Priest to retain.
Priest to retain?
Yes.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
I don't think he's had it long enough for them to make him drop it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they'll give it to Jeff because they seem to not like him at the moment for some reason.
Dick him over, yeah.
And they'll probably want Sheamus to have another go. I think he might be done with that mask thing now.
He ripped it off and threw it. I hope so. Like,
that might have been
it served its purpose for a while, but
it's getting a bit old with like everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna rip your face mask off, and that's how I beat you.
Well, there was a point where Cody Rhodes had one when he was in WWE still.
Yeah.
And he must have worn that for the better part of a year. And it was just so old by the end of it. It's like, mate, just rack off somewhere with that bloody mask.
It's so unrealistic when you wear something like that for that long, because you do not need it for that long.
Or there's a guy called D'Lo Brown back in the Attitude Era, or just before the Attitude Era, who had a chest injury. And he had like, you know, like Roman Reigns would come up before with a shield and he'd have that like flat jacket on?
Yes.
It almost looked like a flat jacket, but it was flat. If you imagine the singer of Sabaton.
Okay,
and he's got that. So he'd wear that in the ring all the time. Because he needed it for his chest injury. But he would use it as a weapon with his move as a frog splash. So you coming off the top, you're slamming down with his protector. Genius. Absolutely genius. Okay, so let's circle back around to what I said earlier about not having someone lose the title without a build-up, shall we? Let's just rewind about 4 or 5 weeks to SummerSlam, where Bianca Belair was supposed to fight Sasha Banks.
It's so bad.
Sasha Banks couldn't fight in the match for whatever reason. We still don't know. We haven't seen Sasha Banks since before SummerSlam.
Oh, yeah.
Out comes Carmella, here's the new contender, blah, 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 blah. Then out comes Becky Lynch, and the crowd goes wild.
Rightly so.
Yeah. Becky Lynch takes care of Carmella, rightly so, says to Bianca, let's have a match. Okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Hits her with one move and pins her in 26 seconds.
Stupid. Bad.
Trash.
Bad idea.
Absolute trash.
It was... I can't believe they did that to Bianca after everything. She brought people into the company because she was someone that a lot of people could look up to that didn't have that representation a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I know there's been other people similar, but she had sort of more elements that people could relate to. And they just, like, took it all away and made her look so weak.
Yeah.
I know Becky Lynch is great and very popular, and she was the champion when she left, so they probably thought, well, she was the champ when she left, so we might as well get her to be champ again. But I don't think it's fair to Becky either to win in that way. She didn't earn it.
No. So they did, was it April, beginning of April, Bianca won that. It was the end of August, so that's like a 4.5, nearly 5 month reign with that championship.
Yeah.
Just to stick it in the toilet and flush it.
What?
Thanks, Vince.
It just feels bad.
Takes the wind out of every sail on that ship. You know?
I know that they're like turning Becky heel and everything, but at that point...
There's other ways to do it.
Yeah, you didn't...
Like,
I mean, that act didn't make her a heel.
They could have had a straight up match, a proper match, and then Becky started to get frustrated because she can't win.
Yeah.
Distracts the referee somehow, starts doing some underhanded tactics. That's how you do the heel turn.
Yeah.
You don't go, I'm going to hit you with one move and then pin you in 26 seconds.
That doesn't make you a heel.
No.
The heel turn came sort of after that. So there was no reason for that to be... Unless they'd run over or were running out of time and wanted to make it quick.
That's not what I saw.
No. It was bad.
Pay-per-view kind of runs a bit differently to syndicated TV. There is a time limit, but usually it's quite lenient.
Yeah, they've probably got plenty of spare because of probably problems in the past, maybe. Yeah, it was bad. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Trash. So then, obviously, we've had the build-up since then, with Bianca being like, right, well, I want my title rematch, blah, 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 blah. It's been a bit uneventful. They've had the contract signing, which is a bit of a go-to for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they never go right.
No. The one thing I never understood is why you have a contract signing for that, but not everything else.
Yeah.
Like, is there someone in the back going, oh, you need to sign this contract before you can have your match tonight?
Because it's not even like all title matches get this contract signed, but some of them are like, bring out a table and a couple of mics and we'll all stand there and witness you signing a piece of paper.
It's a lazy way to try and further the story.
Yeah. So it's sort of a way to put people in the ring so that they can hit each other.
Better way to do it, and again, this happened quite a lot in the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, all that kind of stuff. You'd have the two people in the ring, and the person that competitor A and B in the ring, competitor C was the one they were fighting at the next event. Competitor C would be on the announce table doing commentary and jacking, like mouthing off to competitor A, who's to say the contender. That's how they would do it.
Yeah.
That's how you'd further it along. So then you go outside and you started mouthing off to each other and having a bit of an interaction. Not sticking a friggin' table in the ring going, oh, let's sign this bit of paper.
Sign a bit of paper that means nothing. I think the only reason that sort of signing the contract is a bit of an event is when there's something a bit dodgy going on with the contract. Like there's been stuff where a stipulation has been secretly written into the contract and stuff, which makes it quite interesting.
Or like John Cena coming out and stealing Finn Balor's thing, even though I don't think that would legally bind him.
No,
but
his name wasn't on it. Yeah. It's sort of used as a tool. Sometimes it works, but I think they do use it.
Do you say tool? I say crutch.
Crutch, then, yeah. A crutch is a tool.
Well, yeah. But so is Roman Reigns, but we'll cover that after. Whoa! Okay, so, I mean, yeah, again, I've not really got much else to say this, because the thing at SummerSlam just annoyed me to no end, and I'm just fed up now.
I feel like Becky and Seth must be sort of leaning towards getting their characters together, right?
I think so.
Because they're basically the same person now.
They are pretty much the same character, yeah.
Which I don't know if that's good or bad, but like if they get together and...
So down the line then, do you think Edge will start beating up Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch will come out to help? Mm-hmm. And then out comes Beth Phoenix, who is Edge's wife. Oh. And then it leads into like this intergender or mixed tag match.
That could be cool.
That could be pretty interesting. Yeah. I'd be down to see that. And then have Beth Phoenix fight for the title instead. Yeah. That'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
I'd be down for that. But anyway, back to this one. Yeah. Becky or Belair? Who you got winning this?
Becky.
Yeah, absolutely same. Yeah.
Well, this is easy.
I know.
I'll be very surprised if we're wrong about any of these.
Here we go again with another friggin' Charlotte Flair marathon. I don't know what to feel about the build-up for this one. So the next match we've got is the Raw Women's Championship match, and that's Charlotte Flair, yawn, versus Alexa Bliss.
Yay.
They've had this, obviously Alexa Bliss since The Fiend days, as it were, and WrestleMania especially, when she turned on The Fiend. She's kind of been building up her own power, as it were, especially with this doll Lily. I'm glad to see Alexa Bliss back in the title picture, but I feel it's a bit forced.
Yes, it doesn't quite feel like... It's sort of the way that she got into the title picture was just like picking Charlotte's name out of a hat. That's the person I'm targeting next. Which, in a sense, kind of works for the character because she's just like causing havoc for anyone she feels like at the time. But at the same time, it's sort of... It's a thin thread. It's like, was it plucking at straws or whatever you say?
Yeah.
What's the phrase? I don't know.
Yeah, I know the phrase. I can't think. Plucking straws? You're right.
That one. Yes, clutching at straws.
Clutching at straws,
that's the phrase.
It. And then, because obviously Alexa Bliss was involved in that feud with Ava Marie, which just kind of went nowhere. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, because Ava Marie's trash.
But it got Ava Marie and Dewdrop to break up, so...
Friggin' Dewdrop, seriously.
And then we have that load of rematches.
Yeah, what's that now? 3 weeks in a row?
I think so. I was saying earlier, actually, I keep forgetting that Dewdrop is Scottish until she speaks, and it's always a nice surprise to hear the accent.
Yeah. Like, I've got nothing against Dewdrop. Piper Niven is what I know her as from NXT. I'm not really a fan of her style. I'm not a big fan of Piper Niven, but I can appreciate that she's doing what she does and what she can, and that's great. But to go, oh, well, I'm going to keep this Dewdrop name and make it my own, and then she's got this stupid little dance thing on the... It looks stupid.
The keeping the name thing has flavours of Shorty G.
Yeah. God, that's the name I haven't heard in a long time.
Shorty G.
Wow.
Chad Gable.
I forgot about that.
I don't know why I was thinking about it earlier on. But yeah, it's sort of, I guess...
Taking it and empowering yourself.
Yeah, claiming it. But yeah, that weird piano-y or just magic fingers.
I don't even know what that is. Is it jazz fingers? What is it?
Because jazz fingers, isn't it? Magic...
Well, no, that's jazz hands. That's jazz fingers.
I mean, it gives her a bit of interaction with the crowd as she's going down. She does that thing, and they do it back.
But that in a time of COVID, should you really be doing that?
Oh, they don't believe COVID exists anymore over there. Hashtag not all Americans.
Quickly moving off that topic. But yeah, so I feel that then obviously Charlotte Flair's celebrating her latest win or whatever. I can't even remember who she was fighting now. I think it was Nikki Cross or, Nikki ASH. And then Alexa Bliss turns up and it's like, okay, this has come out of nowhere, but okay, I can kind of get behind this because Alexa Bliss is one of my favourite performers.
Yeah.
And, alright, I'll run with it and see where it goes. And then she sort of came out, was it last week on Raw, with the gift for Charlotte.
That was fun.
With the doll, Charlie, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I think they kind of used that too much, especially in the backstage stuff, where she's like, oh, I'm going to chuck it in the trash, and then I'm going to do that. And she's ripping the head off it this week, and it's like, okay, great, but that feels like it's just kind of gone from no build-up to, oh my god, I'm going at 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. You know what annoyed me? When Charlotte kept holding Charlie up in the air. It's like she did it just before throwing it at Alexa. But it's like holding up a championship. It felt like she was honouring the doll. And it was a bit like mixed messages, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because if she'd like held it upside down or been like dangling it.
Oh yeah, just
in
kind of like
or something. But she was like holding it up proudly when she was meant to be disgusted by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel
like when she ripped it up, she should have kept the little tiny championship belt though.
Wear it like a bracelet.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I want one.
If going on the back of what Leanne just said, if you do want one, Euroshop, WWE Euroshop is taking pre-orders for them. I think they're shipping in November.
I just want the little belt. I think you can buy them too, though. Probably like miniature belts.
Oh, you can do like miniature replicas. Yeah, you could definitely miniature replicas. But yeah, so it kind of gone from next to no build-up to in 2 weeks you've had this all-encompassing thing with a gift and a doll and occurring in the same place again and then ripping it up. And it's like, again, you could have had that randomly like Charlotte's fighting on Raw and somehow Charlie ends up on the apron.
Yeah. Yep.
You know?
That'd have been good.
And Charlotte's just like, what the hell's going on here? But no, because Vince doesn't believe in long burns.
It's probably... this aversion to long burns because he doesn't know who he's going to fire next.
Oh! So, I don't have a lot of hope for this match because I think it's going to be a typical Charlotte wins everything match. Yeah. But I would like to see Alexa Bliss win it and have Lily and the championship. Yes. But given that Charlotte's not long won the title, I don't think they'd flip it that quick.
No, not on Charlotte.
So I think it was at SummerSlam, wasn't it?
She's not Bianca Belair. Yeah, I think Charlotte. I don't want
But then you say that. She won one of the titles and then Nikki Ash won it the next night. Or was it the night after? I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember specifics. It's the last couple of months have been a bit of a blur, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, they did flip that one quite quick, but at least it was a proper sort of match and then there was the Money in the Bank cash-in.
Yeah.
I think it was after. Yeah, it was just after. It was the night after Money in the Bank. So Charlotte won the title, if I remember rightly, from Rhea Ripley at Money in the Bank. Nikki ASH cashed in the next night, and then she held it to SummerSlam, where there was a triple threat match, where Charlotte won that match. That's what it was. Right. Bang on. Yeah.
Nice.
So Charlotte's won that, had the belt for 4-5 weeks, whatever it was, in SummerSlam. but I still feel it's a bit too soon to be flipping this.
I think she might retain, but by no contest.
Yeah, maybe that's a good shout. Yeah, or Alexa Bliss just loses her mind and starts going nuts.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that sort of ending.
Yeah. But yeah, I think as well that Charlotte Flair's retaining that title as much as I want to see Alexa Bliss win it.
Yeah.
And that leads us into the main event of the head of the table, Roman Reigns, the Universal Championship, being defended against Finn Balor, as in the demon Finn Balor.
Yay.
Again, it's kind of come from nowhere, but I can see why. So Finn fought Roman Reigns on an episode of SmackDown, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And as Finn was laying in the ring, Roman Reigns walking out, and the lights kind of dipped and turned red, and then a thump thump. Like a heartbeat,
really cool.
Which is really cool. It was so subtle she didn't catch it the first time.
I thought it was like a malfunction or something.
Yeah, so I mean that was pretty cool. And the next week, the demon pops up.
Yeah.
The problem is that the demon's never lost in a title match, and I think that Vince is too high on Roman Reigns right now.
Yeah.
So, is the demon going to suffer the first loss?
Sad, but. Maybe partly the demon's sort of losing a bit of magic because they went and did a little explanation of it.
Yeah.
So mad about it.
And it doesn't
coming up next, find out where the demon's from, and I'm yelling at the TV, no!
Stop! Cease and desist! Throw up a restraining order!
Not do this! And then Finn Balor comes out and he's like...
Well, he's backstage like a film segment, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's like, people want to know where the demon is or what the demon is, and I was just like, just say I'm not telling you and leave. But no, he went and did a bit of a spiel about how it's inside him and it's the embodiment of everyone who ever told him no, and turned it into a bit of a motivational piece, which I'd have preferred it came from the seventh hell dimension and something actually supernatural.
So given the name The Demon,
it
has this kind of roots in horror.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Pinhead, Freddy Krueger, just to name the first few off the top of my head, classic horror icons and classic horror films. Mm-hmm. They all work for one main reason. Can you tell me what that reason is?
That there's mystery behind them.
Bingo.
You don't really know. You get some kind of vague backstory sometimes, but you don't know how they work. Like Michael Myers.
Michael Myers murdered his sister as a child, and he's a bit insane. But he can't be killed.
Yeah.
Why can't he be killed?
What happened there?
Jason Voorhees. Drowned in the lake as a boy. He was deformed. Drowned in the lake as a boy. Comes back later, many years later, starts killing people at Camp Crystal Lake.
How did he survive? Why
can't
is he
be
so
killed.
strong?
Yeah, can't be killed.
Why does he like sleeping bags so much?
And if anyone turns around in the comments and says, watch Jason Goes to Hell.
Nope.
No, don't do it.
Doesn't exist.
Freddy Krueger. Burned alive by the parents for killing kids in Springfield, in Springwood. Springwood? Yeah, Springwood. Yeah, Elm Street. Yeah, Springwood. Comes back somehow. Nobody knows how. Why has he got these powers? Nobody knows. Pinhead. Same thing. Curiosity of the Box. Why did Hell choose him to be the head Cenobite? To be in control of the task force, as it were, that goes to claim souls to open the box. Mystery and intrigue. That's what the demon is. That's what the demon was. That's what it always should be.
Even if it's a wishy-washy explanation, it still takes some of that away.
Much like the Fiend.
It was pretty wishy-washy.
The Fiend was never explained.
No.
And that character still intrigues me, and we'll never find out a combination of that. And that really, really chaps my ass so hard. I hate
such an elegant phrase.
I hate that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was a bit.
And some reason it doesn't look as impressive anymore.
No, the art style on the body paint and the face paint is turned to more of a pop art.
It looks too clean. Looks too clean.
It's got
but it's the headpiece as well. The headpiece
Yeah.
doesn't look quite as extravagant.
No, it doesn't at all.
It just looked like it was it looked like it was a bit of rope just tied to his headband or whatever it is. Whereas in the old it'd be like kind of like you see cybergoths with the massive sort of extensions flowing out, and you'd have like the time when they did NXT takeover in, I think it was London, and he came out looking like Jack the Ripper. Or there was one in Texas and he came out that was supposed to be an embodiment of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw. Leatherface is another one who embodies mystery. What the hell? You know?
Yeah. Something, I don't know, like, what happened? Whether they just decided to change direction? Was it Finn's idea or Vince's
Let's
idea?
be honest, it's not Finn's.
Probably. Probably Vince.
Most likely Vince.
But yeah, I mean, maybe it'll be different again on...
The only way that they can get away with this, because I don't see Roman dropping this title.
No.
Roman is fighting Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel in about 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks, whatever it is, in Saudi Arabia.
Is that a title match?
They haven't said.
Okay.
That's where they're going, oh, well, Finn Balor might win. Well, no, he's not, and you know he's not.
I'm not going to put Finn Balor up against him.
Why would you have... Brock Lesnar's all about that title.
Yeah.
Why would you go after Roman Reigns if Finn Balor has the title? He wouldn't.
Then you'd have to have Finn Balor versus Brock Lesnar, and that'd be a bit...
Already done it.
Yeah.
Already done it. But then the Demon versus Brock Lesnar might be interesting. But that's not going to happen. That's the problem. So it's going to be Roman Reigns, and whether or not it's a title match, who knows? Personally, I think it should be Paul Heyman on a stick match. You hang Paul Heyman up in the corner, because they'll clearly both want the property.
Hang him above the ring.
In a shark cage like Jimmy Hart used to. Yeah, or Jim Cornette. But the only way I see this, so I'm going to go on there and say Roman Reigns is winning this.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you agreeing with that?
I don't think there's any way they'd let Balor beat him in this.
So the only way that the Demon saves face in this is if the Usos get involved.
Yeah.
Or Roman Reigns just gets a chair and starts swinging for the hills.
And he's done it before, he just gets the belt and walks off.
Yeah. Or, and this was teased on, I think it was on SmackDown last week, Brock Lesnar turns up.
Yes.
So he's comes out, starts putting a beat down on both of them. Well, I don't want to face Finn Balor for the belt. I want to take it from Roman Reigns. Because you took Paul Heyman from me. That works to a better effect.
Yeah.
And that still retains the strength of the Demon. Because they could have the Demon almost winning, and then Brock just turns up.
Yeah.
You know? That's the only way I see that going as a win-win for...
Yeah, I think that'd be quite cool. I hope they do something like that, and it's not just a straight...
Do you know what I hope? They put some extreme stipulations on some of these damn matches.
I know, right? What's
extreme rules! The night where WWE goes extreme for 1 year in the one night of the year.
There's no tag matches either, are there?
Yeah, the Usos and
sorry, I forgot about that one.
Mm-hmm. But then who's to say what gets added on SmackDown Friday night?
True, yeah. There might be some surprises.
Maybe. I'm not holding my breath, though, if I'm honest.
No.
You know?
There's got to be at least
they have to
one that's extreme.
So, just quick circling back to what we talked about earlier with AEW and Grand Slam on Dynamite and Rampage having a 2-hour event this week. And the fact that a lot of people are saying that between Dynamite and Rampage this week, the 4-hour, if you join the two together, they're calling that a pay-per-view event because of the matches on there. You know, as I've already mentioned, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson, CM Punk's fighting Will Hobbs, you've got Ruby Soho versus Britt Baker on Dynamite, you've got Malachi Black fighting Cody Rhodes. These are all pay-per-view level event matches.
Yeah.
And WWE really need... And then you got this card in Extreme Rules.
It's bad. It's not
terrible.
Good.
But then they really need to pull that stick out their ass on SmackDown and do something special.
Yeah. The thing is, after the last AEW pay-per-view, everyone was getting excited because it seemed like Vince was actually taking them seriously and saying, we need to do things. You said that he called a meeting or something and
also,
emergency.
Also on Rampage, Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click. That's the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, so you had all this excitement that...
How'd you derail a video? Adam Cole!
Baby! I always do it with one finger instead of two. It's bad. I'll get used to it. I had to say it, otherwise people were going to say it in the comments. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So people got excited because they thought Vince was starting to take it seriously. He was going to make some changes and do some stuff that would try and lift up to that competition.
So what does he do? Take the WWE Championship match off of Extreme Rules and put it on Raw the next night.
It doesn't make it a pay-per-view level match just because it was going to be on a pay-per-view.
No. Build up. Go back to the Attitude Era. Go back to pre-Attitude Era. They'd only have 4 pay-per-views in a year in the early 90s. Yeah. That was Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam and Survivor Series.
That's all you need. They got too many now.
And they had a build-up between when they started doing King of the Ring and things like that. It was still every few months. But between WrestleMania and King of the Ring, which I believe was in June, you had the build-up of Hulk Hogan defending the title against Yokozuna. That was a 2-month build-up. It was incredible. They didn't even do a great deal on every single show because the shows were a lot shorter back then.
Yeah.
But it was enough.
It's just that little teaser.
Yeah.
A little bit of extra story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, after this, bombs, which I feel like it might. Maybe that will actually get them to take it seriously and figure out what it is that they're doing wrong, which is they are not
Everything.
They're not listening to the fans, they're not listening to the wrestlers.
And it kind of goes back to that point where the whole McMahon family came out a couple of years ago, and they said that we're going to do everything that the fans want to see.
Yeah, we are going to listen to
you. We're still waiting.
Yeah, it wasn't even the sort of thing that happened for a few weeks and then stopped.
And here we go. Triple H was in the ring at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Now Triple H there was announced that he had some sort of cardiac incident, and we hope he's on the way to recovery. Mm-hmm. However, he's apparently been removed from the head role in NXT.
Boo. Oh, we're going to talk about how terrible.
And as such, I haven't seen this yet, but I did see a brilliant comment on Twitter after the NXT 2.0 debut, launch, or reboot or whatever, that took place last week. So the second episode happened, what day was it? Yesterday. Last week was the first NXT 2.0. I've seen better logo design from a 3-year-old.
It's pretty bad.
Like, if I wanted to see that many colours in one place, I would get a rainbow. I would make it so drunk that it just spews everywhere.
The thing is, AEW had the colour splash designs, didn't they?
Yeah.
It was sort of artistic and...
But it still has that darkness to it as well.
Yeah. And
then they kind of mix the dark and the light.
NXT is sort of...
NXT's...
Like, ooh, colour splash is good. Put it everywhere!
So, like, NXT, anyone who's not watched NXT, used to be quite dark. It was the black and gold brand. You would have seen bits of it interjected through WWE, Raw, SmackDown, Survivor Series when they joined in that 1 year. Was it 2 years? I think it was 2 years back to back. It was the black and gold brand. It was the alternative brand. It had metal theme songs. It had all like Damien Priest and Keith Lee and all these guys, a lot of really good guys, really good wrestlers in the ring doing their thing.
It was
fantastic.
So good back
and it
then.
was the one thing I don't like about WWE at the moment is they show too much of the crowd.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the lights would go down. You'd see the guys in the ring. That's where the focus should be, not on the crowd. Now in NXT, you look at it and it's like they've got halogen lamps just brightening everything up. And it looks horrific. And there's so much colour. And going back to the tweet I saw, one person said they actually tried watching NXT and they couldn't because it was sensory overload because of the colour palettes.
Yeah.
You should never be able to say that about anything on TV. Let alone something that's supposed to be a contact sport. Sorry, a contact sport.
It's sports entertainment.
Yeah, you know. And as you say, Dynamite has a really good colour palette, but they mix the dark in with it as well. And they haven't got all these colours just thrown everywhere on the set.
It's just subtle in the logo. I don't even think... I'm not even sure they're using the colour splashes anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so subtle I can't remember.
But then NXT is just, again, like I said, it looks like a rainbow's puked all over it.
It
Brilliant.
was doing so good. NXT was so good.
And another criticism that I've seen a lot of games we haven't seen yet is that they've just brought up... I think they debuted like half a dozen people on that first episode.
What? Why?
I don't know.
Introduce them slowly, one at a time.
No, the biggest kicker is one of them. You've heard of the Steiner brothers?
Yes.
One of them is Rick Steiner's son.
Oh.
Okay. They've not used the name Steiner. They've forbidden anyone from mentioning the name Steiner.
What?
And yet Scott Steiner started trending on Twitter, his uncle. I thought that was hilarious. But then like he's a muscular guy. If anyone's seen the Steiners, they are beefy guys. And he looks like he's got potential from what I've seen.
Let him use his family name. It's his name.
Yeah. And then, again, flip side, AEW, Brian Pillman Jr. Oh, I wonder whose son that is.
It's not like they're trying to get forward because of their family. It's they're like honouring their family.
It's the heritage, yeah.
It's sad.
And also another one, actually, speaking of heritage and family, the British Bulldog, David Boy Smith, his son, whose name escapes me right now, is something Smith. He's signed to WWE again.
Okay.
Signed since the Hall of Fame. Have you seen him?
No.
Nobody has. But yet Vince is releasing all this top tier talent. Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Ruby Soho, Ruby Riott, Aleister Black. You know?
Doesn't make sense. WWE makes me sad.
I'm gonna have to get you to start watching some of the Attitude Era. See what the greatness was like.
I've seen
so good.
some stuff.
So
but
good. Anyway, so that was our Extreme Rules predictions video. We hope you find some enjoyment in it. Probably more than you'll get from watching the event on Sunday night.
True, yeah.
Ooh, shade. We will be doing a reactions video. We will watch the event because that's the kind of nature that we are. We're still we're fans. We are completionists, but we're also fans of the. I'm a big fan of the industry itself.
We want it to get better,
and I want to see it not fail. That's the thing, you know. Again, harkening back to the Monday Night Wars, WWF was the greatest when they had some competition.
Yeah.
Vince needs to see other companies as competition and not just dismiss them outright.
Yep. That's
what makes things thrive.
Yeah, so we'll watch it.
Yeah.
It's on Sunday night, isn't it?
Correct.
So
we'll watch it Monday. We are both working Monday, so I don't think we'll get a video up on Monday night. It'll probably be Tuesday.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So
it's
it is
all
what
we
it
can
is.
do.
It is what it is.
Too early with the predictions and too late with the reactions.
This time especially, yeah, especially. Like with the last AEW event, All Out, we were so pumped after watching that. We had to get that video done at that point. For this, I like I said, there's only one match on there. I'm like, yeah, okay, this could be good.
And it might not be.
And it might not be. It might fall flat. It might just be absolute trash.
Yeah.
You know?
But there we go. We'll find out. Maybe it'll surprise us. We'll try and go in with open minds without our negativity because we want to give it a chance.
Yeah. But yeah, so let us know in the comments below who you think's going to win the matches. Do you think this card is trash? Do you think it's a brilliant card? Just open that conversation. Let us know what you think. We'll reply back to you if anyone, as you've seen, if anyone watched our other videos. Like we've got a rather nice chap that we've been talking to on one of our board game videos, Horizon Zero Dawn. Fantastic sort of conversation with that chap.
Yes.
So thank you for the comments if you're watching this video. And yeah, we'll be uploading some more board game stuff soon when we get a chance to film it. So we both have new. Leanne has a new position in her workplace. I have a new job altogether. It's all been a bit full on, so we have sort of lost a lot of time.
We'll get there. We'll be here.
We'll get there. So just bear with us. Just bear with us. And yeah, so don't forget, if you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that notification bell for the notifications when the new videos go up. We hope you enjoy Extreme Rules. We hope we enjoy it as well.
Maybe drink alcohol when you're watching. That might help.
Yeah, anytime there's a false finish, drink. Anytime there's a 2 count, drink.
Unless you're underage, then don't.
Or drink water.
Drink water.
Or juice.
Stay hydrated.
Or milk. Yeah. And don't try that at home. I miss when WWE used to say, don't try this at home.
Yeah.
That was great. Because right in school.
Yeah, they never said anything about that.
I did. Oh! Had some friends who used to love wrestling and we used to mess around, little play wrestling.
Amazing.
Anyway. God, that takes me back. That's a good long while ago. But yeah, anyway, so again, thank you for watching the video. We'll be back in a few days' time. Well, probably close to a week at this point because we're filming on Thursday. Tuesday's close to a week. Let's say a few days. That's it. Enjoy Extreme Rules and we'll catch you in the reactions. Bye for now.
Bye.